Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD. Welcome back for another edition of MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD. I'm Mike Finnerty, and no Joe Davidson this week as he is on vacation, but we do have a full show for you this week. It's packed with plenty of football. We got some volleyball and soccer recap as we're going to bring you our coach and players of the year for each sport. In our Placer Title Company Insiders, we're going to tell you who our candidates are for our football coach of the year and player of the year. And of course, we're going to look back at Del Oro's great season, their state championship win. So we've got a whole lot to cover in this show, but we're going to get it started with our highlights, and it's Del Oro going for a state championship. Here we are at Sacramento State for the Division II AA State Championship featuring the Del Oro Golden Eagles, who had a record of 2-6 early in the season and had fought back to bring that number to 9-6, now taking on the Camarillo Scorpions from Ventura County. This is the third time in the past 5 years that Del Oro head coach Casey Taylor has been on the stage, has yet to win a title. Can this be the game that changes that? Well, Del Oro came out of the gate showing Camarillo who they are, and 5 minutes into the first quarter, the Golden Eagles took the ball downfield, with Connor Calvert taking it in for the first touchdown of the game, making it 7-0 Golden Eagles. The defensive play for both Del Oro and Camarillo kept the pressure on the offenses for the balance of the half, forcing punt after punt. But just before halftime, Del Oro's Brian Wilhide kicked the field goal, sending Del Oro to the break up 10-0. It was midway through the third quarter when the rain started, and it was around that same time that Camarillo really got this thing going. This pass here was a touchdown, their first of the game, but the extra point was no good, so it was Del Oro 10, Camarillo 6. The rain did not let up, and we saw a lot of incomplete passes until this run from Camryon Davis. He manages to stay in bounds and takes the ball nearly 58 yards for another Del Oro touchdown. Camarillo scored again in the fourth, but it wasn't enough to catch Del Oro. The Golden Eagles take a knee for the final minute of the game and win it 16-13. Coach Taylor takes home his first state championship trophy, and he couldn't be happier and any more proud of his team.
The pride and joy of winning this. You've been here 3 times. It's hard to get here. It's even harder to win it.
There's no doubt, third time being here, it's just gets one of those points where like, hey, we got to finish this year. And, our guys just, once we got going, there was no stopping us. And I think to be at home, be where we're at tonight, and our guys just played so hard. Our defense is outstanding. It's a good team. Cam Davis was phenomenal. But it just showed the true grit of our guys not quitting and believing in the process. And, I haven't been prouder of a team ever, and a staff that just hung with it. And to go from 2-6, barely making the playoffs to being a state champs, like I said, very humbling. I feel blessed to be a part of it.
Cam Davis, a good player coming into the season, but didn't carry the ball early, and now carried the ball late down the stretch with injuries. He's only a junior too.
Oh, you've got a lot of juniors. Yeah, he was outstanding, and Cam's really made a lot of plays down the section game and last week, and he's just a grinder. He played a lot of linebacker early in the season, hurt his elbow a little bit, so didn't get a lot of offensive reps. And when Dalk got a little banged up, we got him in there. Man, he was outstanding tonight. So that's what's been great about this team. I mean, we have different guys step up every week, and Trey's been hurt and Dalt's been hurt, and the guys have picked next man up mentality. And, our O-line just got better and better, and our defense has been playing great. And, just real proud of them.
Real excited. A lot of emotions going on. Just knew it from the beginning. We were going to get this W, make it here. Real proud of our team.
I mean, it's hit me, but it's so surreal of just where we came from. I mean, of course, we keep talking about how we were 2-6, and we really were our team was the only people who actually believed in us. Our fans believed in us, and it feels awesome to make history like how we did.
You're a 3-year starter. You've been to this bowl game before. It's hard to get here. It's even harder to win it. Got to be an incredible amount of pride.
Oh, yeah. 2 years ago after we lost, I called we'd be back here. I think it was Auburn Journal, I said, we'll be back, don't worry. And for us to actually come back and win, it's a great feeling, especially if we're 2-6. And literally only our parents and our coaches were the only ones that thought we could still do something with our season. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm like speechless right now.
It's okay when it rains for a championship post game, huh? I mean, this is okay that you guys won in a rain.
Oh, yeah, and the section game 2 years ago, pouring down rain, that was okay, too. That was all right.
What does it mean for Del Oro, the high school, and Loomis, the community, to win a state championship because everybody's on board?
I think it's gonna maybe put us on the map a little bit more. People starting to get, see it like, oh, who's this team type of deal, and it'll definitely open up recruiting for players at the school. So I'm really excited, and everything was for the community. So
Cam Davis, you knew he was a good player coming into the season. Played a lot of linebacker. He's really stepped up big as a running back. Huge game tonight. What about him?
Words can't describe how proud I am of him. Especially, he's been through his life. In 7th and 8th grade, tore his ACL, so he's had 2 in the same knee. Blew out his knee twice, so this year was like his first year back playing football, and oh my gosh, he had a year. And the first game, he dislocated his elbow, got it popped right back in, kept battling, and then for him to have a game like this at this kind of stage, that's my brother right there.
I mean, it feels great to help my team win a football game. It's the state championship. How does it not feel good? I mean, my line blocked for me unbelievably. My receivers blocked for me unbelievably. We went out there and won a football game. One of the biggest stages you can play on in high school football. It just feels great.
You leave Loomis this morning for a hero's departure. That's kind of unique for that area. This is a good win for that community.
Oh, there's no doubt. We're very fortunate to come from a great community and a great school that believes that football is a big part of the process, sports and athletics, along with academics, and just got a lot of administrative support, which we're very thankful for, and it's great to be able to do it here in front of all of them.
You've earned a 3-day nap.
All right, I'll get on it here probably on Sunday.
All right. Thanks, buddy. You're the best.
Well, all you can say is congratulations to the Del Oro Golden Eagles. What a season it was for them, starting off 2-6 and then winning 8 straight to finish 10-6 on the season. Great year for them. I think they surpassed all expectations when you look at how everything went. They really relied on that Cameron Davis effort in the rain. He had 202 yards, that big one, the 58-yard touchdown. For Del Oro, what can you say? They're the first team to go to 3 state bowl championships, all since 2011. They get that win. They are now 1-3. Oh, by the way, they are 5-0 at Sacramento State when it comes to championship games. 4 of those having come in section championships. So an 8-game winning streak for them. I'll tell you what, Casey Del Oro did a heck of a coaching job this year. You got to give it to him and the whole coaching staff. So the Golden Eagles, they enter that realm of local teams that won a state championship. When we talk about Folsom, Grant, Granite Bay, what a run it was for them, and they move on. They can now hold the hardware. All right, other winners who came up big this past week included Central Catholic. They get their 4th straight state championship game. The 3 previous ones came in Division 4. So congratulations to the Central Catholic Raiders. And that, by the way, was a small bowl win that they had. The big bowl, the big one, the open division game, that was De La Salle, another state championship. Their record 6th. They take down MaxPreps #1 national team, Centennial, #1 no longer. So a good weekend for the locals, especially at Sacramento State with Del Oro, Central Catholic, and De La Salle. I mean locals, I mean Northern California teams. Can't forget about East Nicholas as well. They get it done in the small school games. So I would say overall a very successful state bowl run at Sacramento State and the other outlets for the local teams, the NorCal teams. All right, plenty more to go in this show. We're not done yet. We're going to bring you our Coach and Player of the Year candidates in football later on. We are also going to tell you who our volleyball and soccer Coach and Players of the Year are. So plenty more. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We are back. MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District. All right, in our previous segment, we talked about Del Oro and that big state championship win. Now we're going to go to our Makuni Sushi trivia question for you. I want you to think about this one here. There is a football coach in our area who graduated in 1988 from Oak Ridge High School, was all-league in football and baseball, and he is now one of the premier coaches and has been in our area. So we want to give you that question right there. Later on in the show, we'll bring you the answer. So think about that. Area football coach who went to Oak Ridge, was a two-sport athlete, football, baseball, all-league, all everything. Oh, and by the way, he did participate in the Optimist football game that year. So bring us the name later on in the show. All right, in November, we brought you our first installment of our SMUD Athletes in the Community, and we have this week's installment right now.
Last Saturday, Roseville area soccer players took a trip with their U14 club soccer team to the Union Gospel Mission near downtown Sacramento to hand over a hefty food, clothing, and toiletry donation that will ultimately be used to help the area homeless this holiday season. The boys spent a few weeks gathering these items and delivered them firsthand so they could see exactly how their donation would be impacting the lives of the homeless.
You know, I've kind of heard all the stories about what it's like to be homeless and not really have much, but then like really come down here, you kind of see how much these people have lost and just how much they kind of need your help.
It's kind of sad to see how people go down bad paths, but it's nice to see places like this help them get back on the right track.
It gives you like kind of a take on how other people live, and it's really interesting. It's kind of good for me, and I mean, we're helping out, so it's nice.
Their goal as a team was to have at least 700 donatable items, but they blew that goal away and gathered over 1,800 items. This huge display of generosity certainly makes their coach and their parents proud, but the lessons they'll learn from this day are just as important.
As a parent, I really am glad that my son is learning that if you don't stay focused, things can happen and challenges happen, and you know, staying focused is huge. And I think soccer teaches that, school teaches that.
When things are getting down and when they do feel overwhelmed with practice schedule or homeworks and stuff like that, then they can just look around and, well, actually, you know what, it's not that bad.
After the donations were dropped off, Pastor Donnie gave the boys a tour of the facility and explained exactly where their donations would be going and how they would help. It could be said that the people these boys set out to help weren't the only ones whose lives were impacted by this kind act.
So far what I've learned is that there's a lot of people out in the world that just don't have a lot, and that a lot of people are in need, so it's just coming out here and helping them and giving them stuff is just really good and a great cause.
I do like helping people. It's good for them, it's good for me too, to make me a better person, knowing that I'm doing something for someone that needs it.
We don't really see it down in Roseville, and now that we get to kind of experience it firsthand, I definitely want to go and maybe volunteer a little bit more and just try to help the less fortunate.
Coach Kevin Umsworth, extremely proud of his team, believes that having this new outlook will also help his players out on the field.
You always have to persevere through challenges, you know, injury, not doing so well in the game. You know, every time, you know, we want them to be good athletes, but we also want them to be good people and good kids. And in small ways, maybe just, like I say, raising awareness about something like this can help the boys when challenges do come up over the course of their athletic career and their student life as well.
All right, great work by our area soccer players. Way to give back, guys, and thanks to SMUD for that monthly segment, Athletes in the Community. Now, we are going to bring you our volleyball and Coach of the Year winners, and these are two talented coaches in our area. One who's, I think, in her third, fourth year, and then another one's been around forever, and we're going to start with the girls first. It's volleyball, and Granite Bay coach Tricia Plummer. What a year they had. They didn't win the Sierra Foothill League. We're probably a top 5-6 team all year long, but they did it when they had to, and that was in the playoffs, and they beat Rockland for the section championship. Tricia Plummer and the Granite Bay Grizzlies, they get it done, as we had mentioned. They get another section title. That's their third. It's the second for Tricia. A couple years back, so remember, they won a state championship. So Tricia Plummer, our girls volleyball coach of the year, congratulations to her. Great season and a great run. All right, now on to soccer, and this is a gentleman who really has been there and done that over the years. We're talking about Jesuit soccer coach Paul Rose. And this guy he defies all odds. He gets his first title since 2012. He has been at Jesuit since 1979. He has over 700 wins, 11th section titles. He just got his 11th recently. And he was honored to be in the CIF Section Hall of Fame back in 2012. Paul Rose gets it done again. He is a legend in our area, and what a year they had. So Jesuit Coach Paul Rose, he is our soccer coach of the year. And Trisha Plummer, congratulations to her. She is our girls volleyball coach of the year. All right, we are halfway through the show. When we come back, we're going to bring you our coach and player of the year candidates for football, and we got a whole lot more. Sit back and relax as we bring you some sights and sounds from Del Oro's state championship win.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back. We are Max Prep Sacramento, powered by SMUD. My good friend Joe Davidson, he couldn't be here this week. He has taken some much-needed vacation, but this show resumes, and we've got plenty to cover. We all know everyone likes football, and in the coming weeks, we're going to bring you our end-of-the-year honors for football, and we're going to kind of throw you a little teaser out there right now. So just some of the guys we are considering for Player of the Year and Coach of the Year. So we want to run this list down, and of course, we're going to start with the coaches first, and I think you got to start off with an obvious candidate when you talk about Casey Taylor, head coach for Del Oro. Of course, they get the state championship, and you got to talk about an impressive run. We mentioned this at the beginning of the show. When you start off 2-6, then rattle off 8 straight wins, to finish 10-6, and probably 8 of those wins are about the best teams you can face. That's quite a turnaround, so quite the coaching job for Mr. Casey Taylor. Other candidates for Coach of the Year, and this is a co-coaching tandem as always, Folsom's Chris Richardson and Troy Taylor. Be number 1 all year long, winning streaks at home, overall, defending state champions, and they just put up another great season. They came up short at the very end of the playoffs. They could have easily won a state championship, I think, this year. They had that type of team. But it's not always easy to coach good talent. You got to also be good coaches. And I'll tell you what, these are 2 of the best in our area. Chris Richardson, Troy Taylor, what a year they had. Other candidates for us. All right, 2 more candidates on the docket here. Elk Grove's Chris Nixon and his Elk Grove Thundering Herd had a great year. Great running game, switched quarterbacks. They had a new quarterback this year with Jaden Machado. Great offensive line. Chris Nixon, they didn't get it done, but a great season for them, and you got to turn to him as one of the main reasons why. And then we're going to go with a little small school flavor. How about Drew Rickert of Bradshaw Christian? Every year they're in this thing, and he just does it and does it again. Another great season for the Bradshaw Christian Pride, and you got to point to Drew Rickert as one of those main reasons. All right, those are just 4 coaches we're looking at as Coach of the Year for our show, Max Prep Sacramento, powered by SMUD. Let's now get to just some of the candidates that we're looking at for our Player of the Year, and we're going to go back to Elk Grove, and this could be a leading candidate. You'd have to start off with running back Ryan Robards. monster numbers. We talked about him last week. He was a MaxPreps stat leader in yards, touchdowns, yards per game. He basically did it all. And he was not just a running back, as we had mentioned. He was a defensive back. He kicked extra points. He was everywhere in the field, special teams, you name it. So Ryan Robard's definitely a candidate for our Player of the Year. Another candidate, great one here, quarterback for Folsom, Jake Jeffrey. Again, another guy who led a ton of categories statistically. He could throw it, he could run it. A different variation from Jake Browning from a year before, probably more of a runner and equally as good as a passer. And no beat was skipped there. Folsom just played great again, and they did it under the leadership of Jake Jeffrey. Going to stick with the quarterback theme. Oak Ridge's Ian Book. He is headed off to Notre Dame, and we'd be remiss we didn't name him as a candidate. What a year Oak Ridge had, and a large part of that was due to him. And we also talked about this last week. He had just 5 interceptions for the year. Ian Book, one of the best this area has ever seen, and certainly a candidate for our Player of the Year. We're going to continue with quarterbacks. Lots of good quarterbacks this year. How about Sac High's Caden Vogue, another record breaker, monster numbers. We know about what he's done. He's a 3-year starter. Sacramento they take the Metro League title for the first time in years, and you can point to Caden as one of those main reasons. So Caden Vogue's one of our candidates for Player of the Year. Let's go a little small school flavor here. Isaiah Tenet of Highlands, again, talked about him last week as one of the top stat guys in the area. He's a quarterback, but he's also like a running back. Isaiah Tenet, he can do it all. He can throw it, but he is certainly a threat on the ground. We got to consider him for our Player of the Year. Another quarterback, again, big-time quarterbacks here. Montel Aaron of Antelope. This guy, again, did it all. He could do it with the arm. He could do it with the legs. Led Antelope to a league title. That's important. We're looking at coaches and players of the year. You got to have great years. We want to see your success leading to team success, and that's certainly what Montel Aaron did. He was a leader on that team, and boy, what a year they had. Let's bring you 2 more candidates. Again, we're just naming some of the candidates here. Evan Holtz of Rockland. Great year for Rockland, and in large part due to Evan Holtz. He was a 2-way guy, defensive back, running back. He did it all. Carried that team many times. Tough player. Evan Holtz, two-year guy for them. And again, a key reason why the Rockland Thunder had a terrific year this season. And we'll wrap it up with Owen Scott, Placer running back. Another outstanding guy. Many may not know about Owen Scott. Again, a key part of why Placer had such a great year, taking the PVL title. So there you have it. You've got your Coaches of the Year, you've got your Player of the Year candidates, and as I had mentioned, the theme that we're looking for is winning seasons. We want to see your individual success help your team's success. So we'll see. We'll make those announcements as who gets our Coach of the Year and Player of the Year in the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. But when we come back, plenty more. We bring our Mikuni Sushi trivia question. Don't go away.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
We are back, MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District. All right, so far in this show, we have brought you a state football recap. We have told you who our candidates would be for Coach and Player of the Year in football. We told you who our Coaches of the Year were for soccer and volleyball, so congratulations to everyone there. Now it's time to tell you who our Players of the Year are for girls volleyball and boys soccer. We'll start with the girls first, and for volleyball, our Player of the Year this year is Rockland Thunder superstar Maddie Haynes. What a year she had. Yes, they didn't win the section championship like she had done the 2 previous years. They got to the section championship before falling to Granite Bay, but still a dominant player. We all know that she's going to Cal. 448 kills on the year, 3.9 kills per set. She had 43 aces, and there's really nothing she didn't do in her time as a star for the Rockland Thunder. So Maddie Haynes, your volleyball player of the year for our Max Prep Sacramento powered by Smud show. All right, let's bring you our soccer player of the year now. And this is a little diminutive player. He's 5'7", 130 pounds, a great senior talent for the Liberty Ranch Hawks. That is Marcus Guerrero, 131 points on the year, 60 goals. That led the section. He had a great year last year, but he certainly increased his productivity, and he was a threat. As we said earlier in the show, we like to see players that do great things and also impact what their team is doing. So Maddie Haynes and Marcus Guerrero both got their teams to championships, had great individual years as well. So congratulations to them. So again, that's going to wrap up volleyball and soccer for our show. And our final 2 shows of 2015 coming up next week. We're going to bring you our Coaches of the Year, our Players of the Year in various leagues. We're going to tell you who our overall Player of the Year and Coach of the Year will be. So plenty of football coming up. And then in our final show of 2015, it'll be a look back at 2015. Top moments, top events, top performances, plenty of B-roll highlights to add to that. And then we'll do a little look ahead to 2016, what you might expect this spring and this winter with both basketball, softball, baseball, you name it. So another show in the books as we wind down 2015. Folks, we want to thank you for watching, and we're going to see you next week.